Somewhere in between, I started to call myself a zombie, like a walking, talking, but can't feel anything because I was in so much pain. Every night I would be crying myself to sleep, not knowing what to do. My poor husband would feel bad for me because what could he do? So many times I have come to you with my goals and you've doubled them for me. I mean, if you know what
Both
I'm
ways.
talking about.
Oh, yes.
When somebody asks you if it's 427, then say 427, don't say 430.
Yes.
Because we get paid for our words. The more value we give to our words, the better, higher, more we will be paid.
Puja, can you repeat that once? I think that was a bulb on moment for me. Can you repeat that statement? You'll have to just repeat that statement. Yes.
They have to see themselves with your eyes, where they truly start to believe in themselves, because you can see in them what they can't see in themselves.
So Puja and I, we go back all the way, I think, till 2012, 2013. I think the first ever Jack Canfield event that happened in Chennai. Her Life by Design, she was one of the sponsors, and I met her at that event. And then later on, we attended a lot of programs together. We did, I'm not sure, Train the Trainer, but we did Making the Stage together. We did Enlighten Warriors Power together. And many other programs after that. And Puja is my personal accountability partner. So she holds me to task if I don't complete something, and we are mutually helping each other on our journeys in the coaching and training world. And for me, more than anything else, she's an amazing human being, an amazing person. She's impacted hundreds and hundreds of women and people from all over the world. And her specialty is one-to-one coaching and life coaching. And I'll tell you, there's another specialty is, I don't think anybody in the training and coaching industry has spent more money than her in programs. Is that true, Puja? Yes. She has bought anything and everything possible, and she's been through the drill and learned for so many years. So without much further ado, Puja, welcome to this tribe. Great to have you here.
Woohoo! Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction, Siddharth. It's such a pleasure always whenever we get to collaborate on anything. I adore you and your energy. You know that already. I love our Mondays, 4 to 5 every Monday. That is my favorite time of the week. So thank you so much for having me. This is such an honor for me too.
Awesome, Puja. Thank you. And no, this topic has been something which I have not gone in depth with inside our community. I teach people to put together courses, digital systems, and many other things. And I do have a small little course called Digital Coach Blueprint, but where I teach people how to do one-to-one coaching in 30 minutes. But I think it has to come from someone like you who has been there, done it for many, many years. So let's start off with your journey. Like, for how long have you been doing this one-to-one coaching thing, and what got you started on this journey?
I started about 10 years ago. Actually, I complete 10 years this year in November. So 9.5 years is what I've been doing this for. What got me started on this journey was me. I needed help. So I got married really young. I can see a lot of people are from my tribe also belonging now to your tribe, and I can see some of them already knowing me, but I'm going to quickly share my story because I was 18 years old when I suddenly got married. I was leaving for law school and I was super ambitious and I was very good in studies, so always wanted to become something. So this totally threw me off track. And for the first year of my marriage, I just kept trying to please everyone, that, somehow try to fit in, belong. Didn't really happen as well as I would have liked to. So, unfortunately, over the years, I felt like I lost myself. I got stuck and I wasn't any longer the person who had dreams before I got married. I no longer had become the person I wanted to be. Somewhere in between, I started to call myself a zombie, like a walking, talking, but can't feel anything because I was in so much pain. Every night I would be crying myself to sleep, not knowing what to do. My poor husband would feel bad for me because what could he do? I think one day came when I just hit that enough is enough moment, went up to him and I said, you know what, I need to leave because I'm not even able to breathe anymore. I'm just sick and tired of being sick and tired. He's like, what do you want to do? He was really sweet. He held me by my shoulders, looked into my eyes and he said, I want to help you. What is it you want to do? But I didn't even have that kind of clarity. I said, look, I have two little children. I guess I'll just start my own preschool. Literally, whatever first came out of my mouth. So he said, why don't you do this? Study, open your preschool. Once you're financially independent, then leave. I was like, oh, that's a great offer. Can I do that? And he was like, at least I think he thought in his head that, at least she'll stay that much longer. So that's what
Yes.
I did. I opened my preschool. Within 6 months to that, I had over 100 children. The school did really well. For those of you who are from Chennai, it was called Alps on Warren Road. It did superbly well. And I realized that all the while that I'd been blaming God, blaming my parents, blaming my in laws, blaming my husband, it was actually me not having the courage or the clarity to move forward. And the day I had stood up for myself, people had moved out of the way. And I remember saying this prayer that, God, if I ever become happy again, I'm going to dedicate my life to help other women, especially women, but also men, but especially women, that, I'm going to dedicate my life to helping them become happy again. And the minute the school did well, slowly it kept unfolding different stages. In the school, I started to counsel parents. Every Tuesdays and Thursdays became my favorite days for the simple reason that I could get to counsel parents. So by 2010, I realized what I actually enjoy is that. So flew to America, studied under Jack Canfield, did that whole train the trainer for 1.5 years, realized that this information is so badly needed in India. Why was it not taught to us in school, in college? I mean, you and I share very similar views on
Yes.
the education system right now and what it's doing to all of us.
Mm.
And I think that's what, like, I was like, you know what, I want to take this information back and I want to start working with women, especially. Came back,
Amazing.
started my entire one-to-one journey, which is I opened my own office and started to do events to invite people to come and become one-to-one clients. um, right from the beginning, actually it did quite well. I was pretty doubtful because at that time in India nobody had even heard of the word life coach, forget explaining
Yes.
anything else.
This was when 2012, is it?
This is 2011, and yeah,
11. Okay.
2012 you can say, yeah,
Okay. Got
literally.
it. Mm.
And so, but it actually picked up slowly but steadily.
Mm.
But I never had a time when I didn't have a client, fortunately, because I think from day one the need has always been there.
Yes.
It's just that we didn't show up at the right time. So now I
Mm.
feel like with this whole COVID situation, it's crazy the number of people that need our help, especially one
Yes.
to one coaches, because depression, fear, isolation, economy downturn,
Mm.
down, all
Mm.
of that is becoming such a bad thing that I think the world needs a lot more care, compassion, nurturing. So, no better time than now to also be a one to one coach. Like, I love
Absolutely.
what you're doing, which is so right now applicable, because you know what,
Mm.
technology is the way forward.
Yeah.
But I think now technology and one to one getting married is also fabulous.
Absolutely. Yes. Amazing journey, Pooja. So you discovered your ability to, I mean, in the one-to-one when you were during the the Montessori days, speaking with the mothers, understanding their problems, and then tell us about your first one-to-one client that you got. What was that experience like?
I think when I started out, I was very nervous because I was literally praying that I hope they don't ask me anything that I don't know. Because in the beginning, you want to present your best self and, just all of that. It was a very, very interesting journey. I had all the tools and techniques to be able to help them. One of the things I remember, one of my, right in the beginning, in the first 5 clients, one of the clients kept telling me, but Pooja, if only you knew my story. Pooja, if only you knew my story. And
Okay.
you know what? I never asked her what's her story because I didn't want to sound inquisitive. And
Okay.
one of
Mm.
my biggest learnings in one to one is that if people are paying you, they want to tell you. We have to
Mm.
create that safe space for them to be able to be open with us. Like now, if someone came to me,
Mm.
you're not leaving my room till the time I don't know, to be very crude, even the brand of your chaddi, I sometimes say, like I will know everything about you by the time you leave
Yes.
my room. And
Mm.
I will make sure that the place feels safe enough for you to share that with me.
Right.
But
Mm.
at that point, I think I wasn't confident enough. So I think I had my own challenges.
Mm.
But very quickly, the beauty of one to one is that within the first 3, 4, 5 clients, you can tweak yourself to a level where you can master this art much faster, because at
Mm.
the end of the day, it's all conversation, right? How far
Absolutely.
away can we be from having a conversation? So if you
Mm.
just bring in a little bit of care, a little bit of curiosity, some amount of, challenging the person and your competency, I have a
Yes.
feeling not very many people will struggle with the one to one model if you know
Mm.
your basic pillars.
Fantastic, Pooja. In fact, we will go into all those pillars as we go. I'll move on to the next question. The next question is more to do with now we'll get into the mechanics and the method behind how it really works.
Right.
So let's start with what are the attributes of an impactful one-to-one coach based on all the coaching that you've done. And before you answer that, if you can just tell us how many people have you served on a one-to-one level till today from the time you started.
Honestly speaking, I haven't really tracked that
Okay.
very, very closely. So
Closely.
I'm going to guess my number is somewhere between 500 to 600, but I'm
Wow.
not really 100% sure. I've just done a simple maths of what I know I do per month into the last 9.5 years. And I know some months were great and some months were not. So I'm going to guess somewhere around that number, but
Awesome.
I'm not, don't like treat it like a fact, treat it more like, just giving
Okay.
a generalized number.
Awesome. Awesome.
But the beauty of one to one is it's not a numbers game, it's a value game, not a
Absolutely.
volume
Yes.
game. So
Hmm.
after, I mean, very quickly you start to master it. Like I always say, every 5 clients you can actually increase your price. And I know
Hmm.
at some point you'll want to go into pricing, and I'll go into more
Yeah.
detail that time. But
Yes.
in this you can do a lot, in terms
Yes.
of pricing, in terms of customization, in terms of, so you don't need the volumes at all. If you're
Hmm.
just good at connecting with people,
Hmm.
that in itself is a quality that's magical.
Fantastic. Yeah. So
Super.
we'll dive into the attributes, and I'm also taking notes. And all of you take notes. What do you think are the qualities of an impactful one-to-one coach?
Super. So few things that I always speak about. One is bold enthusiasm.
Okay.
One of the things I always speak about is that, see, if the only thing they need is knowledge transference, then actually YouTube videos work like magic. I mean,
Yes.
who I'm speaking to the king of YouTube videos, so but in one to one, more than just knowledge, you're actually exchanging energy.
Okay.
And so
Hmm.
therefore you have to have a higher energy for the knowledge to turn into transformation in someone else.
Got it.
So,
Hmm.
bold enthusiasm is very important, to come with an energy. Every morning in front of my mirror, I remember for the first 5, 7 years, I used to do
Yeah.
one very silly dance. That silly dance was me checking into my energy, that today, am I ready to play full out? And if
Hmm.
I'm not willing to do that silly dance with that silly song that I used to sing to myself, that means somewhere energetically, I'm not in a good mood. And if
Hmm.
I'm not in a good mood, I'm not in my best energy, what am I going to be able to help someone? Because people walking into my room are energy less, literally, you
Yes.
know.
Hmm.
So for me to bring them, be able to pull them up
Yes.
beyond information and knowledge, so very
Hmm.
important is that enthusiasm. The second thing I always say that all one to one coaches need to practice is judgment at the least possible. You know, if you have judgment, don't take on the client, is my suggestion.
Hmm.
So let's say I know this is a topic I will judge, then I don't take on the client. Let's say somebody's hitting their child. I'm
Okay.
anti children being hit. And
Okay.
she's saying, no, but that I can't stop, because you spare the rod, you spoil the child. If
Hmm.
that's her motto, that means our value system is not aligned. If my
Correct.
value system is not aligned with my client will not be able to learn from me. The
Hmm.
minute the client feels judgment, they will bring out a wall,
Hmm.
which makes them defensive.
Yes.
And if they are
Hmm.
going to be defensive, how are they going to learn from you?
True.
So I
Hmm.
think just falling in love with the human race is a very important part of being one to one coach, where you
Hmm.
understand that everyone has been created by God. God makes no mistakes. In judging his creation, we are judging him. And
Yeah.
that's the journey this person needs to go on. And
Hmm.
our job is to be an angel to support them, not judge them. Judgment
Hmm.
is what they're getting in the outside world. That's why they've come into your room. At
Hmm.
least in your room they should feel like only love.
Amazing.
So
Amazing.
that's another attribute.
Hmm.
Confidentiality, very, very
Hmm.
important in one to one coaching. Because you know what, you want to create that safe space. I'm a
Mm.
Punjabi from Delhi. I didn't understand confidentiality so well. I remember coming back and narrating to my husband with a lot of enthusiasm, if you can
Mm.
see, that's something I naturally have. uh, how this client came and what's happening in their life, and I remember one day my brother-in-law was sitting there and he said, Pooja, is that information for us to know?
Mm.
And I literally felt like he had taken an arrow and put it in through my heart. And that day and today, I can tell you, never again have I ever shared any information, because you know what I said? They are trusting me, and I
Mm.
am here coming in. And even if they never meet my husband again, how
Mm.
does that matter? The
Yes.
fact that I've broken their trust, it was just like, I can tell you, it took me a while to forgive myself, but once I did, I knew
Mm.
exactly what I needed to do. And I want to
Mm.
thank my brother-in-law for saying something as openly and honestly to me, so that it changed.
Mm. Mm.
So safe space, confidentiality, these are very, very important. When I say safe space, literally I will tell the even the lady that serves coffee in my office that,
Mm.
once I start the session, don't bring anything. If they want coffee, make sure it comes in the first 5 minutes. I don't want you to walk in at a time when they are being most vulnerable.
Yes.
Somebody could be sitting with a tissue paper box sharing something with me that they've never shared before, with so much fear. How can you at that point have coffee? You know
Yes.
what I mean?
Mm.
So
Mm.
creating that space, a lot of one-to-one coaches sometimes I hear are meeting in Starbucks, in cafe coffee day, and I will just be like, I'm like, that is just disrespect to my work. You know, you
Mm.
have to, even if you have a small little room in your house, you want to call them. Or today, thankfully, to Mr. Technology, Zoom existing. So,
Yes.
it has
Mm.
become so private. But, when I do my one to ones, even in my house, I will lock my door now. I don't want
Okay.
anyone walking in, because the minute your eyes move, your
Mm. Mm.
client will shut down.
Yes.
So
Mm.
it's so important that you're 100% with them when
Mm.
you are with them.
So safe space. Amazing.
Safe
Mm.
space. Yeah.
Mm.
Another one is raise their ambition.
Mm.
Everyone loves to dream big, but sometimes they don't have the courage to do so.
Mm.
And if they are coming to you, I mean, I know all the time, you, me, Raji, we do these things where we say, let's double it and see what that will look like. So
Yes. Mm.
many times I have come to you with my goals and you've doubled them for me. I mean, if you know what
Both
I'm
ways.
talking about.
Oh yes.
So this is a coin given to me by Siddharth with a goal for the month of April, which is last month, and a massive number. And I'm like, Siddharth, how the hell am I going to touch those kind of numbers? I don't even know how many zeros are there in that number. And then he gave me this coin and I kept it. And last month I touched my target. So thank you, Siddharth, for
Awesome.
doubling
Awesome.
my goals and my targets and all of that. So I think we have to do this. Sometimes I didn't have that belief in me that I could touch those kind of numbers till I saw you doing those kind of numbers, right? I think a lot of our clients are coming in fearful because they don't believe in themselves.
Mm.
They
Mm.
have to learn to see themselves through your eyes.
Okay.
And your
Mm.
eyes have to be the ones where you can see in them what they can't see in them. And when
Wow.
you give that gift to your one to one client, I think that's one of the most beautiful things you can gift them, to help them raise their ambition.
Amazing.
And when
Pooja,
they
can you repeat
act,
that once? I think that was a bulb on moment for me. Can you repeat that statement? You'll have to just repeat that statement. Yes.
that they have to see themselves with your eyes, where they truly start to believe in themselves, because you can see in them what they can't see in themselves.
Magic. Nice. Awesome.
So that's a very, very important point.
Mm.
I think another one in one to one, and I mean, I'm just going on, that's okay, right?
Please, yeah, we've got a lot of time. Yes,
Oh,
no
good.
problem.
So, another one is, of course, for me, is that no advice. In
Mm.
one to one coaching, you don't want to be their masi, chachi, kaki. You want to be a coach. And the
Mm.
difference between a masi, chachi and a coach is that you don't say, if I was you,
Okay. Mm.
because you are not them. You have to play the role more from the space of what cards have they been dealt. Their
Mm.
resources, their setup may be entirely different from you, and
Mm.
therefore there is no one right answer. I can get a client who needs to have a divorce. I
Mm.
can get a client who needs to make their marriage work even though the situation is really bad. I can have a
Yes.
client. So It all depends on the client, client's personality, client's resources, client setup. It cannot be my value system being, oh, your husband's having an affair, then you must leave him, which is
Mm.
normally where we go with it, that the right answer. There is no right answer in coaching. There is
Mm.
only right answer for your client, and your
Mm.
job is to discover the right answer in the discussion, and not at any point give them advice, because you never want a client coming back and telling you, you decided for me and it was a wrong thing that you made me do. You
Powerful point.
always want the onus of the decision making to be on them.
Mm.
So that's
Got it.
another one.
Mm.
Of course, integrity. I don't have to explain it to your tribe. If I know anything about you and your tribe, I know integrity is a part of who you are, and I'm sure it runs in your tribe in ample. Yet, having said that, how I built my integrity was by what I said and what I did, I started to marry the two. See,
Yes.
again, being a girl from Delhi, I used to love exaggerating and telling stories. So if I came back from a party, I would say, Puneet, today I got a million compliments. Puneet's my husband. So, and he would say, actually, how many compliments did you get? I would say three. So you can, so, just for the drama sake of it, I would exaggerate and speak, or I would, narrate things in a very interesting manner, as I used to put it at that point.
Mm.
I think if you really want to have integrity, you have to become the most honest version of yourself.
Mm.
When if somebody asks you if it's 427, then say 427, don't say 430. Because
Yes.
we get paid for our words.
Mm.
The more value we give to our words, the better, higher, more we will be paid. So I
Yes.
think building that trust between my conscious and subconscious has been one of the hardest things for me to do, but the most enjoyable. I
Mm.
remember someone telling me this, that there, at a time in India, especially with our, Gurujis from the Himalayas and all, they could
Yes.
curse people and they could bless people.
Mm.
The reason they could curse and bless is because they say, if you're honest for 3 years in a row,
Mm.
everything that you say comes true.
Wow.
But you
Mm.
have to hold yourself at that level of,
Mm.
remaining your most truthful self. Siddharth, I have a feeling you're already there,
No, no,
but
no. Long way to go. No,
long.
nowhere there. Long way to go. But this is a powerful thing that you mentioned, that when you're congruent in your thoughts, words, actions, then yeah,
Who
you'll be able
you
to really
become.
serve them. Yes.
Absolutely. And
Mm.
that's when transformation happens with your clients. A
Mm.
lot of us know the right thing to say, but we wonder why our clients don't go away and do what we're telling them to do.
Yes.
The
Mm.
doing only happens when they surrender to you at a level where your integrity starts to create trust in them. They not only trust you, they restart to trust themselves, seeing you as their role model.
Mm. Powerful.
That
Powerful.
connection is very, very important.
Mm.
I think for one-to-one coaching, one another point that I think is very important is learning to say, I don't know.
Okay. Mm. Learning to say I don't know. Mm.
Yeah, for the simple reason that, when you become coach, you start to believe you should know everything, because people are
Mm.
coming to you for help. But I always say, when you say I don't know, you also along with it say, whatever I have said up until now, I knew.
Mm.
So actually, you build trust. And the truth is, people today are so smart, they may not know why they don't trust you, but they won't trust you. Because
Yeah.
people can pick up on bullshit energy. They may not be able to pick up on
Absolutely.
your bullshit, but they
Mm.
can pick up on bullshit energy, and they'll be like,
Mm.
impressive guy, good performance, but something about him I don't know.
Mm.
And you
Yes.
won't know what that thing is, but you will know that it's there, because all of us now are becoming stronger and stronger in our gut and in our intuition.
Yes.
So I think at
Mm.
any point, if we start to act, you would have given such amazing answers, and then at one point you'll just say something, and everything that you said up until now will be crumbled. It's literally like you just flushed it.
Mm.
So I think very important. I remember Jack Canfield, my mentor, used to
Yes.
make us for months practice. I don't know, like for one, we used to have an I don't know day, where if
Okay.
somebody asked you like, "What's your name?" you would say, "I don't know."
Okay.
you know
Mm.
so he would just make us practice, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, because he said, never in this space it's so easy to become arrogant, because you get used to being listened to.
Right.
That remembering that intelligence is subject specific is so important. Something I learned from
Yes.
Mahatria.
Mm.
Intelligence is subject specific. Now, if someone
Yes.
comes and asks me about one to one, I have all the answers. But if someone starts discussing webinar, which happens very often,
Mm.
half the time either I'm quoting you or I'm saying, you know what, I don't know this, but I can refer you to the right person.
Mm.
And I think that's very, very important to be able to say, I don't know. I think another thing for you to start to do is to believe in yourself. When I say believe in yourself, a lot of us in one to one coaching feel like I need to have this much knowledge before I
Mm.
can get started.
Okay. Mm.
The real truth is that third grade can teach first grade and fifth grade can teach third grade. And actually, when you become a teacher very high, no, nobody wants to ask you any questions, and you have also kind of forgotten what it was like in the beginning.
Mm.
I mean, if you know, in school, we would rather ask our neighbor the maths problem than raise our
Then the
hand and
teacher.
ask the teacher.
Yes. Mm.
So, you know what? The closer the journey, the more helpful. Like today, if somebody had to ask me, Pooja, I have postpartum depression. How can you help me with it? I've had my children 21 and 18 years ago.
Mm.
My connection to that topic in pampers and nannies is no longer as strong as I used to be. Earlier, I used to help every friend who was pregnant, used to call me only. But
Mm.
over time, so I want everyone to own the fact that there's someone in this world who doesn't have the information you have. You may not right now be PhD, you may be just in fifth grade, but you can be a brilliant coach. Rather,
Yes.
a fifth grade coach to a fourth and third grade is a far better coach than a PhD coach. So,
Yes.
all this doubt that we carry in ourselves, I want all of you to pack it and put it in the dustbin.
Yes. All of you type done if you've packed it and put it in the dustbin. Yes.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you for, yeah. And last is actually a quote by you also, that don't be cheap on your way to greatness.
That's my mentor Vic's quote.
Oh,
Yes.
Vic's quote. Okay. Vic's
Mm,
quote
yeah.
I love. So the last one is, for me, it's a version of that. I
Mm.
always say, show up as the student when you're like, show up as a student that you would like your students to be.
Awesome. Mm.
So if you are asking for discount as a student, then be prepared, your students are going to ask for that. If you
Yes.
are not sitting the way you should be sitting, if you're not making notes the way you need to make notes, if you're not doing all the things you would want your student to do, then do not expect it from your students, because that's hypocrisy according to me. So that
Absolutely.
was my
Mm.
long list of 10 points of what I think every one
Gold. Gold.
should.
Yeah. How many of you had bulb on moments? Just type bulb on. Yeah. So I've taken note of this, Puja. Just to recap before you go to the next question is, yeah, first is bold enthusiasm, judgment, least possible judgment, confidentiality, giving them a safe space, raising their ambition, no giving advice, having the high level of integrity, having the courage to say I don't know, believe in yourself, and show up as how you would like your students to show up the same way. So phenomenal points. Did all of you get that? Just type yes in the comment box. We got all those points. So Pooja, we'll move on to the next question. Next question I have is, what are the do's and don'ts in one-to-one coaching? Like, I'm pretty sure after you've had conversations with over 500 plus people, which you've anyway not tracked, but anyway, that number that you said, let's start with the don'ts. What are the big mistakes that happen, even though it's covered in these 10 points? uh, what are the don'ts, and then we'll get into the do's.
Sure. I think one of the most important things that I always speak about when you're becoming a one to one coach is,
Hmm.
don't be self critical.
Hmm.
You know, you have to go on a journey, and with practice, you keep getting better and better and better. But
Got it.
our mind is so critical that I remember when I used to get off stage sometimes, the first thing I will tell myself is, I forgot to say that. Or, oh my God, I forgot my sentence, or I forgot my favorite quote, or I did not, whatever I would have forgotten.
Hmm.
Now I always acknowledge that I had the courage to go on stage. And I spend a lot of my time telling myself that, Pooja, not everyone can do what you do.
Hmm.
So, first let's acknowledge your courage, your abilities, and keep praising myself till the time I have not connected pleasure with going on stage. So when I'm saying going
Yes.
on stage, you can take any example. It can be the one-to-one example. It can be the
Hmm.
webinar example. in the beginning, whenever we do anything the first time, we're so critical. The most important thing is praise yourself long enough that you connect pleasure rather than pain, so that you
Mm,
can do it a second time. Otherwise, when you have to do it the second time, fear of failure would have doubled, tripled,
true.
you know. So
Mm,
I think that's one of the most important don'ts, that
mm.
just I always start with feedback the next day.
Okay, not the
Next
same day.
day, not that day. That day is just about me enjoying the fact that I had the courage to at least do it.
Mm,
The next day, I will give myself all the feedback that, okay, this is what I can improve, this is what I can improve. And it's always for the next time.
excellent.
Improvement for the next time. It's never any regret for, because at least I got started. So it's
Mm,
always praise for what I did and always improvement for next time.
excellent. Noted that. Mm,
Another don't is something that I learned from one of my mentors, Marie Folio,
okay.
where, again, because we are self-critical, we are all the time in some ways coming up with some excuse or resistance in our head.
Mm,
Sometimes it'll be like, I have a pimple on my face today, I don't like my voice today, I've
mm.
put on 5 kilos, I'll make videos when I've lost the weight or when I go for my haircut. I don't know, we can come up with the most silliest of things in our mind.
Mm,
And she said something very beautiful. She said, if the spotlight's on you, then it's all about you. Just
mm.
move the spotlight onto your client and serve them, make it about them. And then your
Yes.
pimple won't matter, your voice won't matter, because the mission is far greater than you.
Awesome.
And I
Awesome.
loved that
Mm,
how she had put that. So one of the things is that don't focus on self. Every time the focus is becoming too much on yourself, shift it and say, how can I serve this person? Does
mm,
When Mother Teresa was serving people who were dying on the road,
mm.
did it matter what she was wearing, how she was looking, what it wasn't about her, right? It was
Yes.
about
Mm,
them. And I think that's a very important point.
mm.
Another thing is to the need to be right. So
Okay.
don't have that need to be right all the time. A lot of times in one to one coaching, you have only half the information.
Mm,
People are only giving you the perception that they have. Is that the right perception? Always can't be sure. So
yes.
sometimes you can have a conversation with the client where you may lead them to a space, or they may lead themselves to a space that you may have to take a U-turn from eventually.
True.
You
Mm,
will do the best you can in that moment with the information that you have. Don't be harsh on yourself later
mm.
on saying, oh my God, I should have known better. You couldn't have.
Yes.
So
Mm,
I think that you have to release this need to be right, and for that you have to release a lot of your ego.
mm,
If you're a one-to-one coach, you're there to serve in your best capacity. I mean, I love it when you say you're a servant leader, something
mm.
that I learned from you, and I've picked that up because, you know what, I just love the idea of being a servant leader rather than sitting like a guruji on a pedestal giving gyan. That's not, definitely not our idea of
Yeah.
being coaches, right?
Mm,
I think another don't is that not only does your, like, I want you to know that you don't have to coach anyone that you don't feel aligned with. So
okay.
not only do they choose you, you also equally choose them.
Yes.
Because I feel like when your energy is not in alignment with your clients, you
Mm,
anyway can't help them. So they are
true.
only leave you damaged.
Mm,
So I think making sure that you ask yourself, would I choose them? Because a lot of times, especially right in the beginning, when you need the money and you have targets to touch and bills to pay and rents to pay and salaries to pay, you so want to say yes to everyone.
yeah.
But every
Mm,
now and then, now I have like a list of people I won't take as my clients. Like if parents bring a child,
mm,
child doesn't want to come to me. Now this child could be 30, 35, 10, 15, 20. It could be any age. But I know I can't help them because the child doesn't have surrender. The parents wants me to fix the child. Then I
mm.
tell the parents, you need coaching, not him or her. You sit down. You're the ones who need help. So like that, you will start to understand over time who you should not take as a client.
Yes.
And I think
Mm,
that's very important. And last but not the least in my don't list is, don't be a perfectionist. Start before you are ready. And I think you already covered that in your, the first, what did you say? The first
ready, ready,
version is
fire, and aim. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
version 1 is better than
Version
version.
one is better than version none. So I loved
Mm.
that sentence. That was so fabulously said. I think at least I've struggled with perfectionism all my life.
Mm.
And for me to give that up would be my number one reason of success, where
Mm.
I just started becoming okay with 80%. I don't have to get everything to 100% to launch it. Launch it at 80%, 70%, and then keep fixing it. Rather, when you get customer feedback, it's 10 times better than what you could have imagined from your own
Yes.
head. And if you're
Mm.
too attached to every PPT of yours, every webinar of yours, when you get feedback, you'll get defensive. If
Mm.
you know that it already has flaws and you have to fix them, feedback actually becomes gold nuggets.
Yes. Yes.
I think that
Mm.
would be my list of all my don'ts.
Don'ts.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And all of you get that. Was it valuable? Type super valuable in the comment box. Great, Pooja. It's amazing. All the nuggets that you're sharing. So now we're going to move on to the list of do's.
Do's.
Yes.
So I'm just seeing actually what all do I have here.
Mm.
One do is do show up. So right in the beginning, I used to go to my office and I would
Mm.
have only one client that would be coming for their clarity call. And when I
Okay.
would reach office, half the time, sometimes the people would call and say, "Today I can't make it, I'll come tomorrow."
Mm. Mm.
And I would still sit in my office fully dressed up, fully, to do the work. And when I would be in my office, I would get ideas of how I can, keep growing my business or what I need to do. But
Yes.
just show up. I mean, there were days when I would imagine a room of 10 people and I'll be taking 2 days of class and only two people would come. I remember
Mm.
once a person had flown from Bombay,
Mm.
and one of the ladies at half the price from my office was decided to do the course with me.
Okay.
So literally, I
Mm.
had two people where I was supposed to have 10, and I did a full 2 day session for them.
Mm.
Because I think one of our, I don't remember which mentor had said that it's more important to focus on the people who are there versus the empty seats. And our mind
Yes.
so wants to focus on the empty seats that we forget that the two people who honored us need to be honored back.
Absolutely. Yes.
So I think that was one of my, so just showing up,
Mm.
whether somebody comes, doesn't come. In the beginning, it's all hard. 20 people will sign up for your webinar, five will come, no one will buy. That's your first day, first hurdle crossed. You should celebrate that day. Finally, now I'm done with this. It can't get worse than this.
Mm.
So I
Awesome.
think having that celebration, very, very important. Fail fast, fail forward. So I remember when I was starting my webinars last year, Siddharth, you may
Mm.
also remember this. I was so nervous, so scared because I'm not a technology person. I didn't know how to make PPTs. I didn't know how to upload videos on Teachable. I did not know. I mean, whatever problems or struggles your community has, I had all of them and I had access to you to eat your brains and Siddharth, but I don't know technology.
Mm.
But what I realized was I don't need to know technology. I just need to every day learn what I need to use that day. So
Yes.
learn how to switch on Zoom,
Mm.
learn how to upload whatever that day I need to upload. And on a daily basis, I kept learning till I've reached a place where I can now do most of what I need to do. Still, I need help,
Nice.
which is totally okay. But at least, and what I call this is fail fast, fail forward. Were there days where I was trying to switch on my Insta Live and it wouldn't come on? Yes. Were there days when people couldn't see me, they could only hear my audio? Yes. I've had every kind of problem, but I've realized till you don't go through it, you'll never know the solution. And
Mm.
once you go through it, that problem never comes back again.
Yes. Mm.
Because you've dealt with it, now you know how to deal with it.
Mm.
So that was
Awesome.
another one of my do's. Of course,
Mm.
start before you are ready. Always start before you are ready. There are Richard Branson says this also all the time, that you know
Mm.
what? First say yes, then go get it done. A lot of us are waiting that, you know what, the day my website looks a certain way, that day I will launch. No. Half baked website, just put it up and then, that works like magic. So start before you're ready. Start before you're ready. Every day tell yourself, because Rajiv says this so beautifully,
Mm.
success is shabby, right?
Yes.
I
Yes.
love that sentence from him, that success is shabby, something I've picked up. I wrote it on my hand for the first month of me doing webinars. Because every time I would end a webinar, I would only think of what went wrong and I would say, success is shabby, success is shabby. So I think those are the great do's. Of course, continuous education.
Mm.
That's a do according to me, like 100% do. If you're not doing that, coaching is not for you. That's a big statement for me to make, but
Yes.
I think we have to continuously keep learning. You have to be enrolled in something or the other. After a while, more for the energy. Now, when I join a course, I know that 95% of everything that that person's going to say from stage, most chances are I already know it or I'm already applying it. But
Yes.
you know what? When you stay in the continuous energy of being a student, who you
Mm.
show up as a teacher is far superior,
Awesome.
because you
Awesome.
can
Mm.
actually look at the journey from where your customers, clients are sitting.
Mm.
Otherwise, there's a time where you actually detach and you become too much teacher.
Yeah.
And that's
Mm.
not a great place to come from. The better space is, I always say this, that, you know what? Because I'm the best student that I know, I'm a very good teacher.
Mm.
That's my credit to being a good teacher. It's not that I'm a good teacher, I'm a very good student. And that's where
Awesome.
I would keep going back
Mm.
to. Let me check if I have any other do's. No, that's pretty much my do's and don'ts list.
Superb. Superb. Great. Did all of you get that? Yes. Just type yes in the comment box if you got those points. Thank you for sharing the do's and don'ts. We covered the attributes. So now we'll shift gears into the business side of the game. So we've covered all the, you know, all the
One to
soft,
one.
the one to one, the soft skill, the do's, don'ts, attributes, all of that. So now let's talk about the money part. Okay. So how much to charge people for one-to-one coaching slash life coaching if somebody is starting off? Like tell us about what were the numbers that you were charging people, and for what are your packages like?
So, right in the beginning, I think I was quite low, and that's a good place to start. I normally
Yeah.
say that, you know what, you have to focus on the 3 C's. One C is the competition. Just find out in the market what is everyone charging.
Okay.
That's a great place to know where to start. If you have absolutely no idea and no competition, like you don't know,
Hmm.
then just start at your own competency level, which
Okay.
means what do you feel comfortable charging?
Hmm.
So let's say I may have started at 2,500 rupees for 5 sessions.
Hmm.
And then I would say, okay, I'll give you a free bonus session if you join within 24 hours of this call, so that I can make people get over that objection. No, one objection is there, that I'll think about it and get back to you. So
Yes.
in
Hmm.
one-to-one coaching, like how we put a limiter in our webinars, then the next 15 minutes,
Yes.
in one-to-one coaching, they only get the bonuses if they pay within 24 hours. And a
Cool.
bonus is normally extra 1 session or extra 2 sessions.
Okay.
So that's how you, and your pricing, the best thing to do is to start at your lowest level, whichever
Hmm.
you think is a price where you should in your head be saying, I'm giving so much, I'm just charging this much.
Hmm.
If you're in that space, your ability to sell right in the beginning will be much higher.
Okay.
I don't want you to think you are expensive right in the beginning.
Hmm.
Within the first 5 clients, as you start to see your magic unfold, your own self will tell you that, you know what, you can double the price now. And you can
Hmm.
double the price now. And you can double the price now. And I started from 2,500. Today, I charge almost a lakh of rupees and I have a waiting list.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
what is possible is unbelievable.
Hmm.
I mean, you
Hmm.
know some of my stories where I've
Yeah.
been paid 30 lakhs for 3 days, or,
Hmm.
gotten a Lexus car by one of my
Hmm.
clients. So it's crazy what all can happen eventually. But
Yeah.
right in the beginning, don't aim for all that. Don't
Hmm.
go in for the high paying clients or for the, right in the beginning, just go in. I say for the first 5 clients, your focus is a good testimonial, not the money.
Hmm. That's a good point. First five clients focus on the testimony, on the
Yeah,
impact.
get
Hmm.
results, and they should give you such a fabulous testimonial that when you do increase your price 5 clients later, you can at least say, I helped this one with this thing, I helped this one with this thing, and that shows, and it'll increase your confidence automatically.
Got it.
And every 5 to 10 clients, you can actually change your money amount. This is not a
Excellent.
webinar model, right? And I'm going to
Yes.
make the disclaimer that a lot of things we do in the one to one is very different from when you're playing the high volume, low value game, which is
Yes.
online. It's very
Hmm.
different. So, in one to one, you don't really need to have a niche.
Hmm.
Whoever comes to you is your client in the beginning.
Yes.
Niche you need when you need to market yourself and you need to attract the client to you.
Hmm.
You don't need a niche if you are someone who is, you just need your topic. If you
Hmm.
have clarity of topic, That's your niche. Your topic is your niche in one-to-one coaching. So when
Mm.
you're doing your pricing, work with your confidence, work with your competency. If you keep improving your competency, you can keep increasing your price. So
Excellent.
confidence, competence, and competition, these three C's you need to just reflect on, and you should be able to get your pricing right. Start
Mm.
with the lowest amount, and as you build confidence, keep going up. Every 5 clients, every 10 clients, feel free to double. For your old clients, always say, you know what, you've been loyal, so you will get the old price. Because a lot of
Mm.
people say, what about my old clients? Don't
Yes.
worry, give the old clients at whatever rate they came in. That's the advantage they have of joining you when you yourself didn't believe in you.
Mm. Got it. Got it. Awesome, Pooja. This is very nice. The three C's. Did all of you get that? Just type got it in the comment box. Competition analysis, and then competency and confidence. And then your formula you mentioned is every 5 sessions, you yourself will know, if you have to increase it. And for the first five, do not focus on the money, focus on getting the testimonial or on creating that impact.
Yeah.
And the
Somebody in
limiter.
the
Yeah.
questions was asking how many sessions to give.
Yeah.
It all depends on your topic.
Mm.
So, what is the range of your topic? My ideal suggestion always is have two packages, the big
Okay.
package and the small package. The
Okay.
job of the small package is to make the big package look worth it. So,
Okay.
you're always
Can you
selling
can you
the
give an
big.
example, and what would be the
So,
difference
so
in
think of a
prices?
gym. If you had
Okay.
to go and join a gym membership, the
Mm.
1 month will be priced at 8,000,
Mm.
the 3 months at 15,000, and the 1 year for 24,000. So if you do
Okay.
8 into 3, it's actually 24. So 3 months, if you had to take individual monthly package, the gym is saying you can take it for the whole year.
Got
So
it.
you're going to use your brains and go, it's very worth it, yeah, to take for
Mm.
the whole year. So
Mm.
you want to create a package like that, that let's say your 4 sessions are for, I'm just taking any example,
Yeah.
10,000 rupees.
Okay. Mm.
And then your 8 sessions are for 15,000 rupees. What
Okay.
are the chances that people will pay 15,000 and say, you know what, doesn't make sense for me to take 10,000 because I'm getting 8. And then you say 4
Mm.
plus 1, 8 plus 2. So somebody goes, oh, wow, I'll get 10 sessions for 15,000. I think I'll go with that.
Mm. And
So
then you
I
put the
don't,
limiter within 24 hours, then they get extra. Yeah.
they get extra sessions
Mm.
also. Yeah. Like I remember going to, somebody was sharing this with me that when we want to sell a 50-inch TV,
Mm.
he put a 52-inch on top and a 48-inch in the bottom.
Okay.
And the 50-inch will sell the most because people will say, I don't want the most expensive, but I don't want the most cheapest also. This one's making sense.
That's the one. Okay.
So
Okay.
while the buyer thinks they are making the decision, the real truth is you have placed it or positioned it in a manner that you know that which one you're going to land up selling. And if anyone does land up buying the smaller package, it's very worth it for you.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
both
Yes.
ways, it's a win-win situation to be in.
Mm.
How many sessions? I would normally say, because I don't know your topic, I'm just going to give you general for life coaching.
Mm.
I like to do 6 sessions and 12 sessions.
Mm.
You
6
know,
and 12.
6
Mm.
and 12, 5 and 12, like that. So
Okay.
either you're just going for that 1 month,
Okay.
one
And what's
every
the
week,
gap between sessions? Like one per week? That's
one per week,
mm.
normally 1 hour.
1 hour.
You can
Okay.
even say 45 minutes and give them 1 hour, or you
Mm.
can say 1 hour, give them 1 hour, 5 minutes or so.
Got it.
So
Got
you
it.
want to
Mm.
always over deliver a little bit.
Perfect. Makes sense. Superb. So we've covered on the pricing. Again, it depends on where you're starting. You can always increase it. Next question, Pooja, is how did you manage to attract those clients? And I know when you started off, you're not on the online space, digital space, not running Facebook ads, this and that. And tell us about what strategies did you use back then to get those people coming to your office. I mean, what did you do?
Um, so right in the beginning, I think what I did was I did a lot of events with international speakers. And I'll tell you
Okay.
why.
Mm.
My struggle was that nobody even knew what it is that I do. Even when I told them I'm a life coach, they were like,
Mm.
what is that?
Mm.
You know? And
Yes.
so I needed to show the world what life coaching is. So I partnered with our very close friend, Suren.
Yeah.
And Suren and I started to call Jack Canfield to India, Brian Tracy to India, John Gray to India. So I just did about 5 to 10 events with them. What we would do is, of course, I had no money.
Mm.
So I would go with my begging bowl to sponsors.
Hmm.
I would figure out what is the total. This event is going to cost me 6-7 lakhs or
Hmm.
whatever. And then I
Hmm.
would go begging to every sponsor. I'm going to have 500 people in the room. Can you
Hmm.
give me 2 lakhs main sponsor, 1 lakh? For anybody here in Rotary, Round Table, we are kings at knowing how to get sponsorship. So that's pretty much, and I would call the event to itself,
Hmm.
Naturals was a very big sponsor for us at that point of time. So we used to say
Yes.
Naturals invites Jack Canfield to India and all of that and
Hmm.
give them all that they need from us. So that was my initial, right in the beginning strategy when online didn't exist. Facebook was
Yes.
only for getting in touch with friends, ex girlfriends, ex boyfriends. That's what Facebook was doing at that time. There
Hmm.
was no Facebook business at that point.
Yes.
And I think as time went along, I started to write blogs. Blogs became one of my key ways. This is about 2014-15.
Hmm.
Actually, I'd gone for a wonderful event called NYC 10X to America,
Okay.
where there was this teacher,
Hmm.
and then there were all the big people in the room.
Okay.
And
Hmm.
he from stage said, everyone who's come here, YouTube is going to be the way forward. This is
Hmm.
2012, Siddharth.
Yeah.
YouTube is going to be the way forward, and videos is going to be the way people are going to make money.
Hmm.
And I'm just looking at him and saying, this is not for India. In India,
Hmm.
we have something called buffering. To watch a 5 minute video, it takes 25 minutes. Nobody watches this thing. So I came back and I just reorganized my brain to think that, okay, maybe videos is not an option at that point, but blogs can be.
Yeah.
And blogs were picking up at that time, like how podcast today is the rage.
Hmm.
Blogs had just started, people had just started to, the word blogger had just come out.
Hmm.
And so I started to write blogs and I started to get a lot of traction through them.
What would you write in those blogs? Is just your life experiences or tips, or how would you how would you connect?
I think what I was writing about was anything that I was overcoming in my life at that point. So
Okay.
I wouldn't share my challenge,
Hmm.
but I would share all my victory. So the
Okay.
minute the challenge, anytime a challenge would happen in my life, I would say, aha, next blog. I have to now go till victory,
Hmm.
make it a victory, and then share it on. So let's say I've had a fight with someone
Hmm.
and I act like the bigger one and
Okay.
I'm able to find a resolution to it. So
Hmm.
next day, that will be my blog. So it was
Nice.
very current and it was very, what happened? It became a very authentic voice because literally I would go through it, I would write it. I would go through it, I would write it. And
And
every
where would you
challenge
post
became
this? You would post this on Facebook, on your profile?
Facebook.
Facebook
Facebook on my
profile.
profile.
Hmm. Nice. Hmm.
I would not even have punctuations. People who are good in English would look at my blog and write to me, Puja, full stops and commas. Come on, you can do that for us. And I said, this is not for English literature graduates. My
Hmm.
blog is for people who are in pain and they don't care about the full stops and the commas. Again, I had to beat my own perfectionism, but when you beat yours, people remind you that you need to be perfect. So I had to beat their resistance on me also. So I would say, don't
Yes.
read na if you're having issues. No, but you're putting your as your and your as your. You understood
Hmm.
what I spoke about?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
how we confuse like there
Hmm.
and there and there and there. So I would do all kinds of things, but it didn't matter because
Hmm.
I would get 120 comments on the blog saying, Puja, I resonate with what you're writing. So I think I
Amazing.
gave up that. So I think that was one other route that I started to use. Of course, website became another route where the suddenly somewhere on the journey, this whole pop up or what do you call it, where you collect emails,
Leads.
lead
Yeah. Yeah.
magnet, lead
Yeah.
magnet
No, it's your pop up. Yeah.
pop up, where
Yeah.
you.
Farm.
So I started to I started to use that to my advantage a lot.
Hmm.
Because anyone would go to my website, I would say, if you want this quiz, give me your email ID. And then
Hmm.
someone from my office would call them and say, you've shown interest. Pooja would love to give you a free clarity call, as
Hmm.
if it was ever charged, but especially just for you because you showed interest, and then
Hmm.
get them into the room. And those became my hot leads for sure. So I
Hmm.
think in the beginning, honestly speaking, there was no one thing filling my bucket.
Yeah.
It was everything. I remember at one point, T. Harv Eker had said that if you go and speak in forums
Hmm.
and they don't let you sell, just do a lucky dip,
Okay. Hmm.
and just get people to give you your email IDs and pick up one of those, or they can put their visiting cards in the fish bowls,
Hmm.
pick up that and say, you know what, this person wins, and then explain your whole course.
Mm.
you know that's what
Yeah.
that person wins. Or I would write emails to forums and say, you know what, it's either 50,000 rupees or your database. Never
Okay.
got paid 50,000, never. Everyone said, if you told them give your database, they'll say no. But
Mm.
if you tell them it's 50,000 or database, they'll give you database.
Okay. Mm. All the attendee
So,
list.
yeah,
Yes.
or the
Mm.
attendee list, correct. Yeah.
Mm.
So all of those little things filled up my bucket. You see, because it's not a volume game, I only needed, I remember having this formula that said 5, 10, 15. I don't know where I picked it up from,
Okay. Mm.
which was I have to send out 15 emails every week.
Okay.
I have to convert out of those 10 into my clarity calls, and 5 out of those I have to convert into clients.
Fantastic.
So
Mm.
the target in my office was how to get 15 new emails this week.
Mm.
I said from anywhere. Just get, beg. When you go to the saloon, who's sitting next to you, speak, chat up with them, take the email ID. At that time, it was very organic. We didn't have all these ad systems. I mean, today it's just next level. But
Yeah.
literally, I would be just walking around looking for clients sometimes. And I think
Awesome. Awesome.
every single thing trickled into your bucket, because I knew if I don't have my 10 clarity calls on Friday, I won't touch my month's target. So
Mm. And
I
you used to keep your clarity calls only on one day in a week?
only on Friday.
Only on Friday. Okay. Got it.
It was
Because rest of
always
the
on
week is to serve the clients. Okay.
the rest of the week was deliverables, and this
Mm.
was on Friday so that we could track it. How many clarity calls? And it used to be very nice because I used to do about 45-minute clarity call. And I go tuck, 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 tuck,
Mm. Mm.
In the beginning, I used to do Tuesdays and Fridays. Eventually, I made it only Fridays because the rest of the days got busy.
Mm.
In the beginning, if someone contacted me on Monday, I didn't want them to wait till Friday because I was like, what if they go cold?
Yes.
I
Yes.
was I was worried. So then I had kept 2 days in the beginning, and then
Mm.
eventually it became, if they can't wait, their loss.
Awesome.
So then it became
Some
only
There's
Fridays.
some phenomenal points, and I think all of you are watching. Just to add to Puja, like now people are starting off today, they can share their just like how you shared blogs on your Facebook profile. They can do the same thing on their profile. Now Instagram is more engaging. They can do Instagram stuff. They can post short videos. Just share a message, and then they can just have a link for a clarity call session. Just a Calendly link for them to book an appointment, so that they can have those clarity sessions. So tell us about the clarity session. Like how would you prepare for the clarity session? How long would it be, and how would you convert? How do you get them to actually how would you lead them to the pitch?
So the clarity call is where all the magic lies. This is the last 30 minutes of your webinar where you have to
Yeah.
do the sale. So I think preparation for it is just
Hmm.
my prayer to God is, God, if this person needs me, make sure they convert.
Hmm.
And if this person needs me, make sure that they don't convert.
Okay. Hmm.
If they don't need me, like don't make it about me and my ability to convince and market.
Hmm.
Just you decide. Like, God, I'll do what I need to do, but you
Hmm.
decide whether they should convert or not.
Okay.
What that
Hmm.
would do would be that I wouldn't be attached to my sale, because if they wouldn't convert, I say, oh, God knows better.
No pressure.
So
Yes.
yeah, so no pressure.
Hmm.
Exactly. So I think that's one of the things you can do, is build a prayer for yourself where you don't have any attachment to your
Okay.
sale. And I think that's the most important energy when you're going into a clarity call.
Okay.
Apart from that, it's basically a very simple format where where you take them through their goals, you take them through their challenges, you understand who they are, you connect with them at a soul level. They should resonate with they should feel understood by you. And in the end, there is no strategy. It is just you being honest. This is the
Honest.
amount, these are the number of sessions. There's no discount, there's no negotiation, because you know what, you don't want to become
Hmm.
like selling juttis opposite Hawa Mahal in Jaipur. Because when you give them discount, they'll ask for more discount. If you give them more discount, they'll say GST waiver. When you say GST waiver, like, it doesn't end. They still think they've paid you more only because it's a service, right? It's intangible.
Yes.
So the
Yes.
one line I have used for 9.5 years is that I mean, never has Life by Design given any discount. So why would we open that thing for you?
Hmm. That's a
So
good one.
from day one, I want you to say things like that. The other thing, though, I do say is that I take 100% money back guarantee.
Okay.
If you don't get what you came in for, I won't ask any questions. On your session number 6, let us know you're not satisfied. All of your money will be given back. Because
Awesome.
you know what, in one to one, it's so personal. You will know in session one, are you delivering or not? You
Yes.
can see from the body language, from the light bulb moments, from you will always know.
Mm.
So you can keep upping your level of what you're doing with your client as per their feedback.
Yes.
So why should anyone reach session 6 without you? How insensitive are you that you don't know that your client's not having a good time? And if you
Absolutely.
can't trust yourself, how are you going to expect them to trust you?
Mm.
And in my 9.5 years, no one's asked for their money back. So
Awesome.
clearly
Awesome.
it's a good way to sell, to believe in yourself more than what you're expecting them to believe in,
Yes.
or
Yes.
before you're expecting them to believe.
Mm. So in that clarity session, in the first, if it's a 30-minute clarity session, the first 15 minutes, do you go through their challenges, or do they have to fill up a form and then you walk them through their challenge areas and then you talk about your packages, or how does the flow go in this 30 minutes?
Chit chat,
For how long? Chit chat.
5 minutes,
5 minutes. Okay.
form a connection.
Mm.
Discuss COVID, discuss weather, discuss traffic, discuss which city they're from, discuss their
Yeah.
children, anything.
Okay.
Move into their goals,
Goals. How long is that?
about 10 to 12 minutes.
Okay.
Move into their challenges, why they haven't been able to achieve these goals till now.
Noted. Mm.
Move into what I call summary.
Summary. Mm.
Summary is actually basically you telling them that, you know what, these are your goals, these are the solution, these are the problems that you're having. So you're
Having.
summarizing those two.
Mm.
And then you are saying that if you join me,
Mm.
then I will be able to help you with, and then you give them all the benefits of if the goals came true minus the solution, minus the challenges,
Got it.
what will
Mm.
happen. So you're painting a beautiful picture for them, showing them that, you know what, I want to take you till there. Then I ask a very important question: how serious are you? On a
Mm.
1 to 10, how serious are you? Because if their number is lower, then you know you need to work harder. If the number is
Yes.
higher, you know you can close them in the next 5 7 minutes.
Yes. Mm.
Right, so
Mm.
you have a clear idea, this thing, and then you reveal your whole package, then you reveal your whole price, then you let them know, then you actually check in for objections.
Mm.
In clarity calls, all of your magic lies in the objections, how well,
Mm.
how good you are at handling the objections. Because you know what, because it's a high price ticket game,
Yes.
you can't afford to not, like, if someone says I don't have any objections, I wonder whether they'll convert.
Correct.
So
Mm.
it's very important when someone's paying you a Rolls Royce price,
Mm.
then they have to show more interest in, what are the leather seats? What does the seat go
Yeah.
back and
The
front? They
details.
need to, yeah, they need to know the details. So when
True.
someone's showing no interest, you know they are not going to convert. So for me,
Mm.
all of the magic lies in the objections. Can
Mm.
I get back to you? Can I do it this way? Will I be able to attend? What if I can't come for 1 week? They should ask you so many doubts. I don't
Mm.
know, last time I joined a course, it didn't work for me. How do I know I can trust you? Anything, they can ask you anything. You should have a
Yes.
list of all your objections, and
Mm.
you should know the answer to each one. You have to master this portion.
Got it. Got it.
And
Phenomenal.
once you've
So,
done that, then
yeah.
in the end, the closing line is always, would you like to pay by cash, check, bank transfer, bank transfer?
Can you
You
repeat that?
always say
Yeah.
this. You don't leave it
Mm.
saying that you've handled the objections. Now they should ask you. No, you ask cash, check, bank transfer, or any other credit card payment, whatever. You must close the sale.
Awesome. And how much do you collect? Is it like a 50% or full advance? What is it?
So 90% of all my clients, it's 100%.
100% advance.
100% advance.
Excellent.
Because
Mm.
I don't want to be chasing after them.
Mm.
And it
Yes.
spoils the energy, and then you become
Yeah.
admin rather than guruji, whatever you want to call
Yes.
yourself.
Yes. Yes.
So you
Mm.
don't want to be chasing them. So if you can make it 100% advance, I can split the 100% advance into two, but it's still 100% advance. When I say that, I mean I will never deliver
Mm.
any session without having been paid. So let's say it's a lakh of rupees, I'll take
Mm.
60,000 first, go
Yeah.
till session number 3, and for the balance 3 sessions, again I'll collect 40,000 then, and then. So it's
Mm.
never, you've never delivered without having the money that they have
Excellent.
to give
Excellent.
you.
Superb. Great pointers. All of you find this valuable, just type in the comment box. Type what is the one word you can think of. Pooja, you have detailed this out so beautifully, and you know that the way that you've your template for that clarity call is phenomenal. 5 minutes to chat, 10 minutes goals, 5 minutes challenge, then summary, benefits. Then how serious are you on a scale of 1 to 10? Package reveal, price reveal, objection handling, and that's it. Would you like to pay by cash, check, or bank transfer? Beautiful. Great flow. I've learned so much in this. Awesome. So next question, I think is the last question for today is you've already mentioned like how many clients you have served. What other, and you've shared a lot of lessons, Pooja. So, but you have to bring it down to top three. Like, what are your top three lessons that you have personally learned as a life coach from all those clients that you have served so far?
One lesson would be God sends to your room what you need to learn.
Good one. Good one. Yes.
Sometimes I feel like I'm not talking to the client. God wants me to say this to me.
Mm,
And I think that's very interesting because anytime he wants to highlight something in your own life, you will be giving that lecture to someone else, but it actually belongs
yes.
to you.
Mm,
I think another one would be that you have to believe that even one sentence of yours can change the trajectory of your client's life. Like,
amazing.
don't undervalue yourself at any point thinking that you're not making a difference. The real truth, if someone is showing surrender to you, you just energetically itself are impacting them at a level you don't even realize.
Mm,
Like, I'll have people 10 years later coming and saying, Pooja, that one sentence that they know, and it changed
yes.
my entire marriage, or it changed my
Wow.
entire career, or it changed my entire. And you know what? And I'll be looking at that sentence and going, hmm, I'll try using it on someone else. It won't have the impact it had on that person. So
Yes.
even you don't know which one that sentence will be, but you shouldn't forget that when you are a clear channel,
Mm,
God speaks through you.
yes.
And in one
Mm,
to one coaching, that happens a lot when
mm,
you won't even know sometimes where that answer came from,
yes. Mm,
but it'll just flow through you. I mean, I know you and I know what a clear channel you are. So you must have so many times experienced that moment where you'll be like, where did that come from? That wasn't
I
a
don't
part
remember.
of my plan. That wasn't a
Mm,
part of my flow. That wasn't, and it just flows. But for that, I think one of the most important things to do is to be your most authentic self, really wanting to serve the client.
mm,
The most important thing in one-to-one coaching and maybe in all forms of coaching is
yeah.
client is the most important, like in terms of what we are giving them. It's not us impressing them, it's us
Yeah.
impacting them.
Phenomenal. Yes. Thank you, Pooja. I think this is great. I just had one more point at the back of my mind, which I know many people may have in their mind, is certifications. Like, how important are certifications to be a good one-to-one coach? What is your view on this?
I mean, I am the most certified person in India as far as certifications are concerned.
Mm,
Having said that, I still remember a day where I was studying in San Diego, and I
mm,
was studying under a man called Darren Hardy. He writes these books, these
yeah.
magazines called
Success
Success.
magazine. Yeah.
So he's that guy. So I had a 15 minutes one to one with him.
Okay.
And I didn't know him at that point. He was just a big guy in America. And I, being from India, had not yet heard of him. So I went into his room. By the way, he looks like Superman,
Mm,
tall, and he's nice, good looking guy.
mm,
Went into his room and I said, look, Darren, I don't know even what is the right question to ask you. So
mm.
you guide me. What are the things people come and ask you?
Okay.
So he said something very beautiful. He said, Pooja, because I run that magazine and everybody wants to be featured in that magazine,
Mm,
the one thing I hear is, I've done this course. Can you feature me?
mm.
And I always say, I don't care how many courses you've done. Tell me what are your results and I will feature you. And my
Spot
idea
on.
of certification is just that. Don't
Mm,
tell me what your certifications are. Good for you.
mm.
Please put them as your confidence boosters in the beginning and the back of your wall so that everyone else can see. But to me, they mean nothing if you don't have the results. And
Yes.
if you have results, then they don't mean anything. And if you don't have results, then they don't mean anything. So go
Mm.
for the teacher who can really teach you authentically, not for the certifications.
Spot on. Awesome, Pooja. Thank you for clarifying that. Did all of you get that? Just type yes in the comment box. Yeah, I think that is a question that many people, even in my close family, friend circles, there's like, I want to become a life coach. Which certification should I take? So in fact, for that question, do you have any answer? Like, if somebody has to start off, if they have to learn at least the basic ropes of life coaching, do you recommend the certification? Do you think they should start? Yeah, Pooja, you, yes. So Pooja, thank you so much once again. I think it's been an honor and privilege to have you as a part of this this community, this training session, and we want to have more and more of you coming back, and sharing more stuff in the next session that we do.
Thank you
Awesome.
so much for having me, Siddharth. Such a pleasure. Big shout out to every single person who stayed, made notes, did what you need to. You guys are just fabulous. I'm praying to God that each one of you showed up today. In 90 days, you touch the money amount that you want. Because you know
Yes,
what I know is good karma always brings back good karma. So, sending
absolutely,
good
absolutely.
karma to everybody. Thank you so much, Sid,
Thank
for
you.
having me. Bye. Ciao.
Thank you, Pooja.